In this video, we will be looking at nested if statements. That is, if statements inside if statements, like this. For example, if logic true, if logic true, false. Put in your brackets. This bracket matches this one, and this bracket matches this one. We can have multiple, we can have more than two ifs, but I just did it to show you an example. So another way of understanding it is I can show you in steps. If x is greater than y, let's say we give x a grade of A, and normally where the false will come in, let's put that statement right here. If x is greater than w, let's put x a grade of B. Else, if x is greater than v, let's give x a C, and if it's not greater than v, let's give x a D. We close that. So we close up the bracket for this bottom of statement, then we close up the bracket for this one here, and then we close the bracket for this guy up here. So if you have options that you want to test, you want to test if x is greater than y, we give x the grade of A. Else, if it's not greater than y, we're checking out this guy over here. If x is greater than w, we give him the grade of B. If it's not greater than w, that means it's less than w, we're coming over here like this is statement, and we're checking if x is greater than b, we give him the grade of C, and if it's not greater than b, the only other possible thing would be it being less than b, so we'll have to give it the grade of D if C doesn't work out. I hope that wasn't too complicated. I tried to make it visually simple for you to understand, minus all the arrows and lines and those things, but we can do this example in Excel. Let's take it here. What we are going to test is each kid has a total that they spend on these 4 days, and their parents decide to give them a grading system. So if they spend $0 to $100 is a great kid, and if you spend $251 to $300, they want to send you to get a job. So let's test that here. You just want to fill in here the heading grade. Right. Just bold it. Right. So in here you're going to test what kind of grade Jack gets. So let's go equal if Jack's total, which is F2, is less than 101. The reason why we're using 101 is because if he spends $100, he's still a great kid. If he spends $101, that means he's a nice kid. So if it's less than 101, that means it's 100 go down, that means he's a great kid. So that's what we're testing, and we're clicking on the cell, so the cell will say great kid if he is one. And then let's check again, check the total again if that wasn't true. So if Jack total is less than, we're gonna check 151. So that means it is not less than 101, so that means we're coming over here. It has to be greater than 100. So we're testing if it's less than 151. We're going to tell Jack he's a nice kid. And it becomes pretty routine after that. If click on his total, because I don't want to write in F2, less than 201, less than 201. Then we say Jack is a good kid because he's spending between $151 and $200. And then we go again. If Jack's total is less than 251, then we say Jack's spending too much money, so side. And if it's not less than 251, that means it's greater than 251. So you had to tell Jack, stop spending your money and get a job. Right, so those are all our grades. So now we put in our brackets, one for the first if statement right here, that brackets for that, then this bracket is for this one over here, the other bracket is for this one over here, and the last bracket is for our first if statement. So you just have to count all the ifs, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, and then you press enter. So we get side. So let's autofill and see what happens. We run into an error because we need to absolutely reference these values, these grades. I'll show you what I mean. We double click on here, we will see it highlighted all these. If you press escape and then click on the one underneath, double click on it, you'll see that it start moving down when we start autofilling. And the last one you'll see it move all the way down here. So what we want to do is we will go in the first one, and where we see B10, we click on the B10 and make sure your cursor is like between the B and the 1 or the 1 and the 0, and you press the key F4 on your keyboard, you get your $2 signs. You see B11, press it again, so B11 F4, B12 you press F4, B13 you press F4, B14 you press F4, and then you press enter. It wouldn't change for the first one because the first one in place already, so we autofill and bring it down, and everything works out nice. Nobody's a great kid apparently because they're spending more than $100. I'll just make this big so you'll be able to see the if statement nice and big. So this is our if statement. We went through the approach of using less than, and it came out this way. You can try using greater than and see how that works for you. I hope it helps. And that's the end.